r/AskReddit. What has simultaneously gotten worse and more expensive? There used to be this burger joint called Joe's Cab Block near me. Great place. I miss it so much. A few months before it closed down, I was there and the owner, Joe, was having a heated conversation with one of his suppliers on the phone. After he hung up, he looked over at me and just said, "Price goes up, quality goes down." It took me a while to realize that wasn't an asshole supplier he was dealing with, just a fact of life. People like Joe can't tolerate that. That's why the truly great things never last. Only the mediocre things are able to endure long enough to degrade into the universally hated embodiment of entropy that the physical world allows for. I'm sure this will get overlooked, but KFC. I remember growing up a whole family could eat there, and it was great. Now it's just garbage, super greasy, and will cost you an arm and a leg for a dang bucket of chicken. They have gotten way worse and the price has went up. New homes. Cookie cutter houses, built with cheap contractors who cut corners left and right, situated in neighborhoods with ever higher HOA fees, and the HOAs are getting more expensive too. Clothes. Even a sweater from the Gap is like $70 now, even though the quality is about 10% better than Old Navy. Goddamn clothes retailers, settle down or I will go naked. Edit. To the people suggesting thrift stores, I agree. It's thrilling to find something special and cheap. You wash it, you're good to go. Plus retail clothing is so effing expensive nowadays that I would rather someone else take the hit of driving it off the lot. Photo booths. Oh, the old ones were so cool. 4 different real photos for $1. Now you pay $7 for 4 identical bad laser prints. Scented candles. Yankee Candle in particular used to be the candle that was considered premium. But while they've never been cheap, at least a while ago it was worth the money. But now they are just exorbitant in price. They don't smell like they used to, and they are not worth the money. Ice cream containers that were originally 1/2 gallon have been shrinking. They went from 64 ounces to 56 ounces and now 48 ounces. But the price hasn't shrunk, it's been increasing steadily, and the quality often isn't as good as it used to be when containers were a true 1/2 gallon. Disney theme parks. Speaking pre-covered world. They were better when you could do an entire park in a day. Cost much less, like $40 vs whatever the insane price is now, and they limited who could get in. Universal is the same way, specifically Halloween Horror Nights. It was $15 the first time I went. They capped how many tickets they sold, and you had time to do every house plus a couple of rides. It was my favorite and we would go every year. Now, it's like $70 for a ticket. You have to buy Fast Pass for another $30 or $40 just so you have a chance to do every house, because the lines can literally be hours long because they don't cap ticket sales and they recycle the same houses but pretend it's a new theme. It's so miserable we stopped going. Face razors. They had it perfected with double-edged blades and a metal razor. Cheap and incredible shaves. Modern plastic disposable razors are worse on your skin, give a worse shave, and grotesquely expensive. They are nothing more than monopolists controlling the availability and accessibility. When you go to the razor section at the store, you can only choose from their garbage. I give double-edged metal razors to men and women loved ones as gifts, and universally their minds are blown realizing how much better and less expensive they are. College education in the US. As a somewhat older person born in the late 60s, ucking everything. Clothes fall apart and there are no classic styles anymore, unless you want to pay out the nose. Christmas ornaments are just junk now. It's heartbreaking when I think about my teens and 20s, my first job and apartment I could rent with cash left over for concerts on the reg. It was awesome and I'm now wondering what's left. If I didn't have an aunt and mom who care so much about me, I'd probably just give up the ghost. I've had my good years, and now trying to re-enter the employment market and try to adult again is disheartening. I could never afford an apartment on my own anymore, and I don't get along well with a lot of people. I value my privacy. It's a college world out there now, and with only a HS education and even with 15 years of admin experience, People pay absolute shit and my work ethic has taken a deep dive, because if I make things more efficient, they'll get rid of me and hire a part-timer rather than give a raise or anything. Never used to be that way. Then again, there were no human resources departments back then. It was just a small personnel office. The name alone shows how companies think of their people. Just a resource. Edit. Wow, I didn't expect my little diatribe to get so much attention. Thanks. Toys. I have toys from 10 years ago that are still in great condition for a low price, but the toys I see on shelves nowadays look like crap and are hella expensive. Not to mention break within 5 minutes of use. Doesn't apply to Lego. Edit. Alright, I gotta mute this now cause my phone is blowing up, but it was nice to talk to all you guys. I'm glad we can almostly agree on this. Second edit. Okay, I know it's mostly seen as cringy, but to the person who just gave me gold, thank you so much. I've never gotten a gold award before, so thank you. This coming from an avid Apple user. Apple computers. I'd rather take 1 centimeter extra thickness and more ports than using a hub for everything. Education. Long ago, the premise of institutional education provided promise. As the information age progresses, the quality of institutional education has dramatically reduced, but the expenses of education has risen dramatically. With the rise of computers and online education, people are learning elsewhere, even though the legitimacy of institutional certification remains large. For that reason, the quality of education received is vastly poor, since people will be enrolling regarding of any pressure to improve themselves. Smartphones in general. They made it less modular and more disposable. It's like you're forced to change your phone every 2 years, even when the only problem is a battery, which in the past is removable and can easily be replaced. Realtor fees for buying and selling a house. I'm less than a year removed from this process and saw firsthand how silly the old model of using a realtor is. There was a time when a realtor was needed but not anymore, yet this archaic profession is still the gatekeeper to much of the process and inventory. Their fee is still 6-7%, yet what they actually do has diminished to what an algorithm can do better. They are warm bodies that needlessly eat up money on both ends of the sale. For me, the movie-going experience. Tickets have skyrocketed in price, so have snacks, drinks, etc. Then you get the pleasure of sitting through 30 minutes of ads and previews. Then the sound is usually ucked up and way too loud or completely unbalanced. Typical incredibly loud action sequences, but you can't hear all the ucking mumbling actors Eddie Redmayne. I've been to maybe 2 or 3 movies a year until COVID hit. Not sure I'll ever go back. Concert tickets. Hear me out. I'm not saying concerts are getting worse, but the entire process for getting tickets, as well as the pricing, have gotten worse. You used to be able to see big bands for like up to $100, but now every concert is literally hundreds of dollars for a nosebleed seat alone for any band. Now, instead of going to retailers to buy physical tickets, we are buying from shitty corporations like StubHub and Ticketmaster, who on occasion scam people and duck around with ticket pricing as a result of the online move, meaning that ticket sellers can now be subtly scummy. BMW relative to its competition over the years. If you've been in a BMW from 2012 to 2021, you can really see how antiquated they've become. Standard steering wheel is just a big hunk of plastic. No touch screens. The software is a mess. Vents look old. Horsepower. The thing is anemic compared to cars tens of thousands cheaper. The car has extremely high maintenance cost and has an insane starting price. 320i is a 180 HP hot piece of shit. They depreciate so fast. You could get better performance and build quality out of a Honda/Toyota. The sad thing is, the Kia Stinger is holding its value better, and you get a 6-cylinder engine with more horsepower. Ucking everything. Wherever there is money to be made, there are millions of people waiting to uck you. Supermarkets, hospitals, doctors, gas stations, stores, online stores, electronics, even the simplest ucking things like paper plates and plastic cup. And then there are things everyone needs, and people will uck you on that too. Mechanic, he will uck you saw. dentist, or you need a tooth fixed. Bend over. Anywhere on this earth where someone needs something, someone else will be waiting with their bigs out and a big smile.